Alrighty folks, you see we're back. EFI Specialties. Mac and I got a little bit of work to do. We're gonna switch out the torque converter. I'm gonna show you how to do it, and then we'll take it out. We'll brake test it, and hopefully it gets us close to 3,000-4,000. We'll see, but the real test will be at the track in the next video. Yeah, it caught back up. I don't know, man. Whatever it's doing, it fixed itself.
The problem is, I think I have those marks for a wide body, so I might actually have to move it. I'm still learning the
where to put it.
Yeah, I gotta move it a little bit.
All right, we're gonna scooch it over and we'll be right back. All right, I know I said I was gonna get some light for this dark kind of stuff, but here's where we're gonna start. Get the torque bolts undone up here. Then we'll move to getting the wires and the lines out of the way. And then we'll get to the bolts here. The one on top. Mac just got the 36-inch extension.
Half-inch to 3/8.
The John Holmes extension to get that top bolt on the top of the transmission.
Oh, this makes it easy.
This will come out. We're gonna drop the drive shaft, and then we're gonna drop down the transmission. We're gonna take the old converter out, put the new converter in, and bam, 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 we're done.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yes, sir.
So it'll take us a little longer than that, but I'll try and get you at least some shots of each portion of what we're doing. So stay tuned.
First converter bolts.
All right, so Mac made some progress while I was out. He took the drive shaft out. So obviously these bolts spin the drive shaft around to get the ones on the top, get all 8 of them out, or 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. All 8 of those out. We got to set on the jack stand.
I gotta lower it down.
Now we're moving up to lower the transmission a little bit.
I gotta lower it 1 notch.
What's that?
The lift, because the trans jack doesn't go quite far enough.
Oh,
not a big deal. 1 notch isn't the end of the world. You get out from under it.
Oh, lower the car down one.
Yeah.
Should have bought a little taller trans jack. Safety first.
Yeah, I just lost all my headroom.
Yeah. So now we have 0 headroom. Oh, it's on the cross member right here. There you go. All right, so eventually we're just gonna lower the trans down, pull it out, put it in.
Take this and drop it down.
Take the cross member out. We're just gonna leave the drive shaft looped on there because we can just pull this out like this, pull it out of the way.
We're gonna drop the drive shaft down over here. That's a little concocted there.
All right. Hopefully y'all can see. I know we lost our light a little bit, but these 4 bolts Drop it down, we're good to go.
You must have 13s in yours. The last one I did had 15s.
You know I gotta be different.
God damn. I must have put these in. I was the last one to do it.
I think so. That's 8-man torque.
Yep. It's Rocky Mountain Race Week. Please don't fall apart, torque. Alright, now it's sitting on it. Alright, cool. Alright. Now, those last bolts will be good.
That's the ones we need the long extension for. Way back up in there. I know it's dark, but hey, it is what it is. Way back up in there.
Yeah.
All right, let me get out of the light. So I know you guys can't see way up in there, but he's way up there at the top.
Grab the 15mm socket for me.
15mm socket. $15.
Might be a little too short. I think this is extra short. I might need the in the middle one. I don't have it in the middle, but I might have to get the longer one. Yeah, it's gonna have to be a longer one for that. They all are. I think I got the long 15. I can't remember.
Yep. You see his hand way up in there. All right, we'll be back. Hopefully get it down long enough.
Just gotta get some of the wires off of it.
Oh, on that I taped to the side. The actual, oh, TCM wire. I hate those clips, man. Clips are a pain in the rear end.
Little bullshit side to side deal.
All right, once we get the rest of the way down, I'll be back.
Cameraman.
Gotta lower the spin jack. How's that?
That should do it.
All right, we got it lowered down. We're gonna pop this one out. Get fluid all over the place.
Pro torque.
And then we're gonna test fit this one. So if you order one from Pure, make sure that one of two things. Either the stock bolts will fit their torque converter, or if they send you one with bigger holes, that they send the right bolts with them, because my stock bolts don't fit. So we got to go to the hardware store and go pick up some bolts before we can bolt it in.
These flex plate is thick.
And yeah, so hopefully the bolts will be fine to go through the flex plate. If not, we're gonna have to drill out the flex plate as well, which is another pain in the rear end.
I think it'll go.
But yeah, I think it might make it, because they are a little bit bigger.
You know what? Let's not even check the fitment yet. Let's just go get bolts. Because if that doesn't fit, we're gonna lose our fucking minds. So let's just go get bolts.
All right, we're gonna go get bolts first, and then we'll test fit it when we get back. And if it doesn't fit, I'm gonna be highly upset. When in doubt, test fit.
This is annoying.
This is not going in right.
I think so.
I know it's hard to see, but a little trick of the trade. Take some zip ties and zip tie that loose metal plate in place.
Right here and here.
Right there and right there. Zip tie it in place, so that way you're not having to mess with it to get it to line up in all the holes.
Yes.
And then also you want to get your wires and make sure all the wires are out of the way so you don't pinch anything, because you're not going to be able to see up there. See up in there once the transmission's up in there, you're not gonna be able to see. So just make sure you got everything up and out of the way before you put in the transmission. But we're about to put the torque converter in, and you can see this is, I'm gonna say it now, this is Sippel's torque converter, and this is Pure's torque converter. Now, one from Sippel is a little bit larger in diameter. This one's a little smaller in diameter, but
Well,
we test fit it.
One's $2,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
One's whatever they ripped you off for. It's not shade at Pro Torque. I see the Pro Torque name on it. But
Yeah.
He was sold a 4,000, and it's not a 4,000.
It's not a 4,000. But anyway, so we're gonna get her stuffed in. We're gonna get the transmission back up, the drive shaft put back in, and hopefully we're on the road.
All right, I'm currently happy where everything is.
So if Mac's happy, Don's happy.
Yeah, I got all the, see how I zip tied all the stuff.
Zip tied everything up out of the
top
way.
of the trans, and then that way, yeah, all the wires are up and over. This won't get pinched.
Yep.
So we're good. Anyone who's done this has struggled. We did have to drill, well, I had to drill these holes out, but we'll say we, because it's a team thing. He watches, I drill.
I watch a video and Mac does the work right now.
But I drilled these all out to fit the newer, bigger bolts.
Fit the new bigger bolts. So we're happy with the new bigger bolts, because we're making a lot more power than we were before. But the reason why I'm not doing as much hands-on as I used to is I had 2 surgery extracted yesterday. And yeah. What Max said, I'm sure y'all heard him in the background. So let's grab this Turk converter.
Oh yeah. Well, I do want you to consider holding your tranny from the back.
All right, so I'm not gonna get him putting it in, because it's just shoving it in there. I'm gonna go hold the trans so it doesn't fall. All right, let me see if I can grab this. There we go. Torque converter is in. Brand new, all nice and black.
And so it runs harder.
Yeah, it runs better when it's black.
If it was white, it would be a little slow. Probably bigger, not as muscular.
All right, I'm gonna have to stop videotaping Mac.
Everyone's
So
thinking it.
he's just spinning the flex plate to match the torque converter, so we don't have to mess around inside too much, getting stuff lined up.
The only thing I'm gonna do.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bolts in.
Lube on it, remember?
Put a little lube on there. Now I move the light. There, little lubrication on the flex plate, and he was just lining up these holes with these holes in the flex plate. So hopefully it goes right in, and we can get the bolts started, leave them loose, twist it around, get the bolts started, leave them loose.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically put two bolts in the tranny, and then put these 2 in first, rotate it, try to get 2 in, like we said, but I'm gonna put Loctite on them first so that we don't have to revert to taking it out.
Right.
But yeah, man, I think if the
for those bolts you want to use Loctite for sure, because you want to make sure they don't come loose.
If the stall speed is what it's supposed to be in this situation, I think it's going to be a fun little converter. So
maybe y'all can see up in there. I can't really tell.
I'm just hoping good old Chris Miller did a solid. Chris Miller up here, he talked all that big game we don't see.
we gotta talk. You gotta talk. Not only you gotta talk the talk, but you gotta walk the walk when it comes to us.
Yeah,
because we're gonna put your stuff to the test.
If it don't work good, I'm gonna be in his ass. I'm like, hey man, you said the other guys couldn't do what you did. So here we are. We got your stuff, and now it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
I'm doing the twisty jack, so trying to keep the drive shaft kind of in line a little bit.
But if it does amazing, he's gonna get praise. He's a little abrasive, but I am too. I only say that because he unfollowed me on Instagram.
You either get beat up or you get praise. If your stuff don't work, you get beat up. If your stuff works, you get praise.
I think it'll work.
I think it'll work too. I do have some faith there.
I do. I think at the end of the day, I think it'll do all right. Hopefully. I want it to do
good.
Because I don't want to have to take it back out. If it comes back out, we're gonna drive it up there and put them on camera and be like, hey bro, you said this
You swap this shit out.
Yeah, you said this was the goods. You said this was amazing. You said nobody could mess with your converters. And here we are having to mess with it twice.
Well, we're gonna put it to the test.
Yeah, I hope it goes good. I hope everything goes good.
All right, so now it's just reversing everything, hooking up the shifter cable, shifter cable, then hooking up the lines back in, and then filling her back up, hooking these back up.
So we gotta fill your tranny up?
We gotta fill the tranny up, do the cross member, do the drive shaft, and then we're in business. So there's 1,000 videos on people doing this. So we're gonna get this done, and then we'll be back.
X-Hamster is one good one.
Yes, sir. It is the next day. We are in different clothes. It is the next day. I'm gonna save the story of why we're here the next day. I'll save that for a Wednesday night chat. You guys can, you guys can chime in on Wednesday night chat and find out what happened. All right, Mac wants to tell you what happened.
Well, because I might not be in the chat because I don't know. I got surgery the next day.
Oh,
so
that's
I might
right.
Be sleeping. What happened was the converter comes with a larger bolt. The bolts were in the box, but we can't find them, so apparently they're like unobtainium, like special bolts. Very lightweight.
They're invisible.
Yeah, they're made from something that we can't see. So anyway, we had to go get bolts. Had to pull the trans out a few times because I was having to enlarge the flex plate bolts. And when you do this stuff, you just don't want to go full, you know what I'm thinking.
Too big.
Full tard factor, and you know, just ream them out and end up with slop. So I would step up, the bolt fit, put the trans in, see if it fit. Okay, it's close. Pull it out. Did that 3 times.
Trying to line them up.
Yeah, and I was like, this should be like 15 thousandths worth of play. It's perfect. I don't understand why it's going in. We were frustrated. We had 4 bolts in the bottom. Everything looked lined up. No. When you finally looked at the top, it was like this far off at the top. Like the trans was this far from being like all the way to it. And it was just enough to where it was making a couple of the bolt holes off. Tighten it up and it went right in. So that slowed things up.
I won't tell you how long it took us to figure that out.
Too long. Too long.
It was too long.
A stock one would almost, I mean, I'm going to blame it on the drive shaft being connected. I don't know, I'm blaming it on something. It's probably the fact that I hadn't slept in about 20 hours. And when you start to get frustrated and you don't step back and walk away from a situation, you tend to overlook the simple solution.
Yeah.
So I'm very big on preaching to everybody, including you. Stop, walk away, think about it. But Bean was at home alone.
Yeah, Bean was home alone for a long time.
So we were trying to get Bean.
And I finally said, Mac, did you put those top bolts in? He's like, no, we didn't.
Because we were gonna stick them in,
and then we didn't.
We got
sidetracked.
Everything else, man. So we'll do that, and then we'll at the end. You got to let me talk about the cool thing I tested, so we can show them what we're working on with JLT.
Oh, okay.
I got to pitch that because they're cool people. we
All right,
quality products.
We got a JLT pitch.
And your
pitch coming at the end.
That. Yeah, they might like to see that.
Yeah, and that's what Hellcat stuff, right?
Hellcat throttle body specifically on the 6.4 because their new stuff will not work with the spacing and everything isn't right. So just come here.
So 6.4 with a Hellcat throttle body.
Let's walk in real quick. I'm gonna try not to get fluid on me here. So I worked with them for the last couple months, and this is 3D printed right now, which is pretty cool. But this is Hellcat sized here, the coupler. If you look, the inside is Hellcat size diameter for the 92. Yep. This will allow this to bolt in a Charger or Challenger with a 6.4 intake and a Hellcat throttle body, you know, that requires a spacer. And there's about this much space between the tube and the throttle body, which the other design, the new design will not work because it's about this far too long and you can't cut it. So we worked together to get this all measured and figured out. I just sent them pictures and the okay yesterday actually, and they're putting it into production. So if you have a Hellcat throttle body, don't buy the current stuff just yet and fuss and fight over it. Wait and let them kick this out because
it's much better.
It'll save some drama. And yeah, and they told me that the 3D printing ain't good to drive on, but I might drive on it once just to see how it feels.
So there you go. If you got a 6.4 with a Hellcat throttle body and you want a cold air intake, wait till JLT comes out with their new stuff.
Yeah, they're gonna redesign the box a little bit for fitment issues that some people had.
Right.
So I gave them measurements and stuff, and they've already pre-trimmed certain things from the factory. That's why I said we got to show love to them, because they actually, a lot of places will not hear what you have to say as a consumer,
right?
Or someone that deals with the product. They're just like, oh, whatever, you know, buy our shit, shut up.
Yeah.
Nope, they take advice, and I mean, it's Don. I posted pictures on my Instagram.
Yeah.
It is perfect. Like
Yeah, go check out Mac's Instagram. You'll see it on there. So wait till they come out with the production version of this.
Yeah, don't bug them. I will release the official when I know for sure that they're out. I will update everyone on Instagram. So
there you go, folks. So all right, we got to top her off with some fluid, and we'll get the start up, pulling out, and we'll get the couple pulls we need to do.
Connect the battery, so it's probably got to learn a little bit. Just when the trans doing it, whatever it was doing, I was like,
yeah. All right, here we go. First test.
3100. That's way better.
3100. That's way better. And my brakes aren't the best either, so.
Oh, I can make it hold more, but we don't need to do that. The whole idea. So this is what I was talking about at the track. So you put it in neutral, foot on brake.
Alright, we go for a little ride. Hopefully that thing will stop soon.
I ain't worried about it. I think it already stopped. If it didn't, it ain't like we can hear it anyway.
Doesn't take much to get squirrely.
That is so stupid. Holy shit.
Of course, these are street tires too.
That's still so dumb,
It
Don.
is still crazy.
This converter woke it way up, I think. Alright, I have to get pure their flowers on the converter. It'll probably flash where we want it. Jesus Christ. That extra 10 pounds, the smaller size, is great.
This car is just stupid. The 5.7 was crazy. This thing is just stupid.
Oh, I love it, man. That's what we needed after the little bit of frustration. You haven't hit it like that on the street. You're like, whoop, okay, I respect my build.
That's far enough.
We're gonna drive to Wawa and get just to see if anyone stops and talks and get a drink or something. That'll be our trip to